Goku, Vegeta, Broly, and Cell all end up on Beerus' planet. With these four all achieving a new level of power, where does that leave Earth? We'll be covering that and more in the 6th part of What If Goku Learned Fusion Early. Resurrection F will roll around at some point, and this does pose a significant threat because, well, once this happens, Goku and Vegeta can't just teleport to Earth like normal. Sure, if they really needed to go there, Beerus and Whis could take them, but that wouldn't be instant. Without instant transmission, Goku can't teleport them. Not that they're expecting Frieza anyways, this just means once he shows up, Earth is pretty much on its own. Frieza revived and not too long after, his army shows up, ready to kill Goku and Vegeta. Thankfully there's a pretty good welcoming party for them. The Z Fighters are easily able to take on Frieza's entire army, leaving just Frieza himself, which doesn't seem like a big deal at first, it's just Frieza. They defeated him before and they could defeat him again. Particularly, he remembers Piccolo, the Namekian that fused with Goku in order to kill him, although Goku's nowhere to be seen. That's fine though, Piccolo was another person he wanted to enact his revenge on, and he knows this time to be wary of any tricks. Piccolo and Gohan begin fighting Frieza together, and he eventually goes into his final form. But he lets them know he actually has one more form beyond this now, so he transforms to show this off, and this is definitely going to be too much for them to handle at the moment. And now the tides turn really quickly. Frieza's able to get the upper hand, and it's a pretty noticeable upper hand. He takes great pride in doing this. He wished Goku and Vegeta were here, but he's sure this will draw them out. Although it's kind of funny to him. Even with that weird fusion thing they did last time, that probably wouldn't be enough here. From what he remembers last time it did make them stronger, but if this is all they're working with, there's no way it'll add anything of value. A Kianzan from Krillin then flies past him. Not doing any damage, but this kind of ticks him off because he remembers what happened last time Krillin did that. Trying to get a sneak attack, huh? He looks over at Krillin and then gets hit with a solar flare. That was just a distraction to blind him. Gohan and Piccolo instantly know what they need to do here. Frieza can't believe he fell for that, and once his vision clears, there's a new fighter standing there. Kind of looking like the one who defeated him before, but not exactly. Quickly performing the fusion dance, Gohan and Piccolo merge together, creating the new warrior Kohan, utilizing the power of Super Saiyan 2 right off the bat. Frieza isn't too concerned because, still, his golden form is really powerful, but what he doesn't realize is that this fusion is really powerful too. First off, Gohan and Piccolo are pretty strong as is. Second of all, it's a fusion, so the power is added and then greatly multiplied. And on top of that, Piccolo and Gohan actually have an extra boost. Just as Goku and Vegeta have a boost when they fuse, I feel like Piccolo and Gohan would here too. A boost for being master and student, as well as somewhat rivals. And knowing how big of a threat Frieza is, Kohan doesn't play around at all. It's kind of a shame he had to resort to fusion again. The Piccolo side of him would have loved to be enough to actually fight Frieza on his own, but if this is how it has to be, then so be it. Quickly he charges the Makanko Sappo, and a blast right through Frieza's head. This probably wouldn't even kill Frieza, but an attack to the brain definitely is going to do a lot, leaving him heavily disoriented and confused. Then charging a blast, he fires an attack that engulfs Frieza and kills him. What he calls a Masenko Kamehameha. As the name sounds like, he's trying to combine a Masenko and a Kamehameha. And with this, he ends the battle. All the way over on Beerus' planet, they of course felt this battle going on and got pretty concerned, but they watched the Whis' staff and realized that everything was under control. Thanks to that quick thinking from Krillin, as well as Piccolo and Gohan, they were able to defeat Golden Frieza. Once more, Frieza died to a fusion. It's pretty funny to them. Next up, we have the Universe 6 tournament. The roster for this time would be Goku, Vegeta, Cell, Broly, and I think Monaka would be here. Now, Goku and Vegeta have Broly and Cell as motivators, but Broly and Cell need their own motivation too, because they have each other, but what about after that? That's why Beerus thinks of Monaka. Monaka acts as a goalpost for all of them, mainly for Cell and Broly who are stronger. And the order of the team is decided with Broly fighting first. As you'd probably expect, this makes things really quick. Thanks to having the Super Saiyan God form and all his recent godly training, he's really got a hang of his power. No longer does he have those issues where he'd lose control. He still isn't really utilizing Super Saiyan Blue, but Super Saiyan God is more than enough. He basically wipes the entire roster. Eventually he gets to Hit, and even though Hit is definitely more skilled, Broly's raw power is way too much for him to handle, so no matter how much skill he has, and no matter his time abilities, it's not going to be enough. This leaves no one else with a chance to fight. Broly just sweeps everybody. This is great for Monaka. He doesn't need to fight. And this is also more than enough motivation for Goku and Vegeta, as well as Cell. So, at least everyone here is in good standing, and everyone on Earth seems fine too. Gohan and Piccolo might need to change their training methods, but still, they were able to defend Earth from Frieza, and as for the crew on Beerus' planet, they're continuing to grow stronger in the realm of gods. But speaking of Gohan, there is another Gohan we need to cover, Future Gohan. What's been going on with him, as well as Vegeta? Because you might remember, Future Vegeta is still alive. Well, let's go to Gohan. After he returned home, he did eventually stop Cell, and at some point, he met Shin and Kibito, who warned him about Bobby and Deborah, and prepared him for the threat too. He took his training very seriously, and one good thing is he was kind of a klutz with the Z-Sword and ended up breaking it, which is amazing. That freed Elder Kai, and led to him having the ultimate ritual, leading us to Ultimate Future Gohan. He of course still kept training to grow stronger, but at some point Babidi and Deborah did strike. As you'd probably expect though, they won't be able to do anything against Ultimate Future Gohan. So they're completely stopped, and Boo is never revived, with both the Kai surviving too, plus Elder Kai being freed. and Gohan continues keeping up, wanting to maintain this power. He is the last bastion of hope after all, and Vegeta is still out there too. He doesn't know if he might be a threat down the line or something, but regardless, he still should keep training. One day he's training on the sacred world of Kai's. A strange portal appears in the sky. Immediately everyone there is on guard, but Gohan's readiness then fades away when he sees who comes through the portal. It's Goku. Or at least it looks like Goku. But it's not just him either. Kibito then watches as someone teleports in, not being able to act in time as he's struck down. Zamasu is teleported on the planet as well, and then goes to attack Shin. Kibito has already been killed, and Gohan tries to save Shin, but it's already too late. Especially because Goku Black gets in the way, fighting Gohan and stopping him before he could do anything. Despite not seeing Goku fight in the Universe 6 tournament, that still did set in motion the events that would eventually lead to Goku Black becoming a thing, leading to Zamasu meeting him like normal, and so on. Also, he did say Broly used god forms, and that's kind of what encouraged him to do this, not to mention the fact that Gohan was time traveling. In his eyes, Gohan's a sinner, and he's here to kill him just like the others. Goku Black traveled here, killed Gowasu, and recruited Zamasu. Now, unlike normal, Shin was still alive here, which meant Beerus was still alive, so he had to get rid of Shin somehow. Thankfully, by having Goku's body, that was the perfect distraction to get Gohan off of them. They actually didn't expect Gohan to be here at the moment, but regardless, they were prepared. Distract him, then have Zamasu teleport in, and go after Shin. As Gohan's trying to hold off Goku Black, he sees Zamasu plunge a blade into Shin. And as he's fighting Goku Black, he comes to see that he's really strong. This is all so much happening at once. He just watched Shin and Kibito die, and now he's fighting someone who looks exactly like his father. This makes no sense to him. He tries to make sense of it, but he can't think of anything. But to make things worse, Goku Black rubs salt in the wound. He didn't expect to encounter Gohan right away, but it doesn't really matter to him. He lets Gohan know that now is where his sinning stops. This is all his fault. Everything happening right now, the deaths of Shin and Kibito, and the inevitable Zero Mortals plan, that's all because of him. And he lets Gohan know that everything he did, traveling through time and all, that was for nothing. Goku Black made sure to kill his entire family. They were living a good life, but no more. Going into detail explaining how he killed all of them. First taking Goku's body, then killing the alternate Chi-Chi and Goten, and then the alternate Gohan. He even lets Gohan know in that alternate timeline, he had his own family too, and of course all his other friends around him. Goku Black is trying to taunt him here, but instead he just strikes a nerve, which isn't really the best thing with Gohan. It's not like Gohan's necessarily weak right now either. He is holding off Goku Black. Goku Black's playing with his food, which is a really bad thing, because now, something changes in Gohan. Watching Shin and Kibito die right there, and then hearing how everyone died in the other timeline, particularly his family and friends, it did affect Gohan, but not in the way that Goku Black necessarily wanted. Zamasu's watching on with a grin, and then all of a sudden he's blown away. It's almost like a hurricane just spawned out of thin air. As he's sent flying, he stops himself midair and looks on. Where Gohan was standing is now just a huge pillar of light, then condensing into a fierce and strange aura. One moment Goku Black was taunting Gohan, and the next moment, he feels a sharp pain in his torso. A powerful beam flies right through him point blank. The wind and a chunk of his torso is knocked out of him, and he realizes that he's up in the sky now. He was just on the ground a moment ago. Whatever beam just went through him sent him flying up here. And then that aura on the ground disappears, and instead engulfs him. He could feel something incredibly powerful right next to him. It's terrifying. Even someone of his stature is shaking. He slowly turns around to see Gohan standing behind him, looking different than before, now with white hair, as well as piercing red eyes. Had Goku Black not looked like Goku, he would have just obliterated him on the spot. It looks like he got too ahead of himself, but he could tell he's just being tricked here. This man might look like Goku. It might actually be Goku's body, but clearly, it isn't Goku. He has no qualms about killing him. Slowly he lifts up a hand, launching a blast that eradicates Goku Black. Zamasu's still watching on from afar, and Gohan goes to kill him next. And this is a pretty quick job. Zamasu actually isn't immortal yet. One of the reasons they needed to come here was because the Super Dragon Balls were partially in Universe 7. Maybe it wasn't a great idea for Zamasu to come here right away. He should have just let Goku Black handle everything, or they should have at least covertly collected the Dragon Balls. They thought they could kill Shin first and get that out of the way. But thanks to that, Gohan is able to kill him, quickly defeating Goku Black and Zamasu with his new power. He then slowly floats down towards the ground, going over to the bodies of Shin and Kibito. They're dead, but there is a glimmer of hope. As he holds onto their bodies, he suddenly feels power surging through them, and he hears a voice nearby. Elder Kai. He's still alive. He tells Gohan it's not too late. He can probably save them. Gohan's not really sure what he's talking about, but Elder Kai reminds him that thanks to his training here, he technically has the abilities of an apprentice Kai. They could heal others. Gohan's never actually tried this before, but instinctively he does try to fix this. And just at the moment when he thought he lost everything again, he's able to heal Shin and Kibito, bringing them back from death. Thankfully they weren't gone for too long, and with an immense influx in power for Gohan, he was able to heal them. Shin and Kibito are confused as to what happened, but they know Zamasu was involved somehow, and they saw Goku. Gohan himself still isn't too sure of what happened either, but then Elder Kai tells him about that power that Gohan unlocked. He has no clue of what it is either, but what future Gohan became in that moment was Beast Gohan. They try and put all the pieces together, and Beerus actually does wake up here because, well, he died temporarily. That's definitely going to wake him up. But he doesn't meet Gohan, nor does he have the dream about a Super Saiyan God or anything. Rather, he's preoccupied with trying to figure out what just happened, and they eventually learn about what happened with Gowasu too. While the Kais from every universe and Beerus are trying to put the pieces together, Gohan returns home for a bit. He wants to see if he could warn everyone in the past and try and rectify everything, because if they truly died in that timeline, well, he's really their only hope of saving it. Bulma is able to fuel the time machine again, and Gohan's about to return, but he feels a power approaching Earth. Despite being in a completely separate realm, Gohan's power was felt pretty much across the entire universe, and it alerted two people that Gohan actually knows. It was a long shot, but after feeling that power, Vegeta decided to go to Earth, thinking that Kakarot might be the source of it. Even though it was in a completely different spot, and he didn't even know what Kakarot's power would feel like at this point, still, he decided to check. And he lands on Earth seeing that it's thriving once more. When he came and killed the androids, so much of it was destroyed, but now it looks like a normal society again. Or at least one that's still rebuilding. There's still a lot to be done. He and Broly land on the planet. Due to old age, Paragus is dead by now, so it's just these two. And someone greets them the second they land. It's Gohan. He's surprised to see them, greeting Broly too. How does he know Broly's name? Well, kind of a long story, but he asks why Vegeta's here. He felt that power. Vegeta's grown so strong out in space that now he needs someone to test this out against. He and Broly have been fighting constantly, and growing far beyond their limits. But finally, after all this time, Vegeta can get the fight on Earth that he wanted. He kinda just dragged Broly along. Broly doesn't even know who this guy is, nor why Gohan knows his name. That's obviously because when Gohan traveled back in time, he saw Broly there. Very briefly, but he knew that Vegeta was training with him. And he asked what form Vegeta has now. Has he achieved Super Saiyan 2? This also surprises Vegeta. It looks like Gohan's been making a lot of progress, but no, Super Saiyan 2 isn't his ceiling, nor is Super Saiyan 3. Interesting, Gohan never unlocked a Super Saiyan 3, but apparently that exists and there's something beyond it too. Vegeta showcases his new power. Without a tail, it was kind of tough to achieve this, but he eventually figured out the basics, especially with some help from Broly, thanks to seeing how he utilized his grade 8 power. So Gohan goes into his ultimate form, and the fight is pretty short-lived. He can see Vegeta still clearly is evil, but he's not here to destroy things needlessly. He just actually wanted to fight. And Vegeta's just so confused because it looks like Gohan hasn't changed at all, but whatever form he's using right now is beyond his Super Saiyan 4 form. What's worse is he learns Gohan's actually above that too. He does have another form beyond this, but he has some other things to work on right now. He'll seek out Vegeta soon and fight him again, but what he's trying to do now is kind of important. Although, before he leaves, he lets Vegeta know. The reason he knows who Broly is because he went to another timeline, and that's exactly where he's going to right now as well. In that timeline, Goku is still alive, and Vegeta got his fight with him. Vegeta can't believe what he's saying, but again, how else would Gohan know Broly? And while Vegeta still wasn't a great person at the time Gohan saw him there, he definitely didn't seem fully evil. And he lets future Vegeta know that that past version of Vegeta ended up beating Goku there. Gohan gets ready to go back in time, but now Vegeta wants to go along with him. He has a lot more questions, and he kind of wants to see this past version of himself, as well as Kakarot. Gohan's not really too sure about it, but it looks like he's not going back in time alone. Now he's bringing along Vegeta and Broly, the latter of whom he barely knows, and the former being an old mortal enemy of them. With that, we'll leave off here for now. What did you guys think about this part and what's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.